Hey folks, it's Friday, and other than being the end of the working week, which makes it one of the best days of the week, it's also Mandalorian Day, which probably makes it for me my favourite day of the week now. This show, the first two episodes have been absolutely amazing, and one of the things that's really surprised me is that for something that's Star Wars related, it's not had any critics, it's not had any kind of detractors, there's been no organised effort to put it down just because it's Disney and it's the sequel trilogy. And that's a first, I think. I think that's a first that I've seen for anything Star Wars related since Disney took over. Every bit of Star Wars media that's come out since 2012 has had some kind of criticism behind it simply because of Disney or because of, the quality of the product. But there's always been some kind of a bias there. And I think this is the first thing that we've had that there's been no backlash to. I think there is a general consensus amongst all Star Wars fans, give or take the odd person who is just going to be on the extreme end of the scale and is never going to accept anything Disney related. I think there's a unanimous agreement here that this show is actually damned good. And that is a very surprising thing. It's not surprising, again, because it's not good. It's very, very good. It's surprising because Star Wars fans never agree on anything. They never, ever agree that something is good or bad. There's always a split. There's always a divide. And sometimes that split is more one-sided. Sometimes it's fairly even. But this time, there is almost no split. I've not met anyone who has had a bad word to say about this. I've not seen anyone criticise it. And I don't think it deserves any criticism for the first two episodes. It's been an amazing journey so far. And even an episode like the last one, where on paper it seems very simple. He discovers his ship has been scavenged by Jawas. He has to track them through the desert. Then he has to fight off a monster and get an egg to get his parts back. It all seems very simple on paper, but the way that it's presented, the cinematography, the story, the Mandalorian himself, it just makes it just elevates it to another level. And, I have more than enjoyed this show in the last two episodes. And I find the Mandalorian character himself very, very intriguing because he is a character who seems to embody all of the Mandalorian traits and he takes on the culture very seriously. But he also seems to have another side to him. I think being a foundling himself gives him a very unique perspective on how he wants to go about doing business. And it's going to make a very interesting case for when he delivers this Baby Yoda to the client, which I know some people don't like people calling it Baby Yoda, but until we get a confirmation on the species name, we're going to keep calling it Baby Yoda because it is a Baby Yoda. And so I think we're going to see a bit of a conflict within him. If he's going to hand over this kid to the Imperials, who presumably are not going to do nice things to it. This kid's an orphan, and is he going to be able to do that? I'm not sure if he is. If he does, then, hey, he's a bounty hunter, he's got to work, and, for the Beskar steel, that's pretty invaluable to a Mandalorian. It's almost religious. So I definitely could see an argument for him giving the baby over. But also I wouldn't be surprised if he decided, no, I'm not going to hand this baby over. He is alone. He is an orphan and he's goddamned adorable, And also the Mandalorian's come this far and he's done so much to protect the baby. And we've seen the Baby Yoda using the Force and maybe he realizes that this baby's got potential. I don't know how it's going to go, but either way, I know it's going to be an amazing episode just from the standpoint of the cinematography. And if the first two episodes or anything's go by, I am going to be very, very happy. So, yes, before we jump into this, I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon super supporters, Frank Tremel, TheLoneDetective, Karen Abel, Rakoon Shampoo, Flawed Otaku, and Ace. As always, you can find everything on Patreon for reactions, things like that. The link is in the description below. One quick note, just because of some copyright issues, I may make the picture-in-picture very slightly transparent, just because I know a lot of people have been having issues with copyright. I had my episode 2 taken down temporarily, managed to get it back up. The episode 1, I'm currently going through a dispute to get that back up. So just to try and avoid any problems here, I'm going to try and make it a little bit transparent just to hopefully avoid any further problems. But anyway, we're going to jump in to the next episode of The Mandalorian. Oh god. He is... or she. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, that's the thing. I don't know if the Yoda species has boys or girls.
I have no idea if he wants to eat it or hang it on his wall, but he's very antsy.
Uh-oh.
Safe passage. You know where to find me.
Oh, he's taking the thing off of the... I thought he was gonna hyperspace. There's a quad jumper behind him from The Force Awakens. He's just a baby. Don't tell me he's gonna count midichlorians. Look how much Beskar steel there is. That's a lot. Is that enough for a whole set of armor?
Finding a Mandalorian in these trying times is more difficult than finding the steel.
Oh, is that an insult as to say your people are dead? Again, I love the Western kind of music. Just such a different vibe from anything Star Wars, but it fits so well. She's just letting it... Vibroblades!
Has returned. When one chooses to walk the way of the Mandalore, you are both hunter and prey.
I love it. I love the fact they're actually vibrating. Look at them.
One chooses this way of life.
This is the way. This is the way.
Interesting. I like how he is giving some of it to the younglings, or the foundlings. Oh, are they like little rockets? Oh no, again. There's the... Oh! Confederacy! Battle droids! So this wasn't the Great Purge, but an attack by the CIS. The Great Purge was something the Empire did. Oh no! A battle droid found him. Oh, look at that full set of Beskar armor. That is sexy.
That's the best
Oh.
of a nobleman's son skipped bail. Looks like you're headed to the ocean dunes of Karnak.
Don't tell me that's Akbar's son. But it's a Monk Halla?
Any idea what they're gonna do with it?
That's gonna remind him of the kid. And you use the Force as well. Come on, dude. I love that armor. That armor is so cool. Yes, come on. Go get the kid. Go get the baby. Oh, they threw out the... Oh, they threw out essentially his pram.
Extract the necessary material and be done with it.
The necessary material?
Explicitly ordered us to bring it back alive. Finish your business quickly.
That's... Okay, yeah, that's one way of getting them to come out.
Check the perimeter.
He was already inside. Nice. Oh. I I love that. He put a bolt right through him just in case. That's cool. That's cool. That was some scorpion shit right there. So he gets the baby and the armor. Whoa. Yes! Oh! Talk. Oh my god, he bent right through him. Oh, it's the... Yep, they're like little rockets. Oh, there's going to be a hit out on him, isn't there? Everyone's going to be after him. Oh, this is going to get interesting. Oh, yes, he's fighting. Yes. Go for it. He just threatened a droid. Poor droid. Yep. Yep, that's what I like to see. Yep. Keep doing that. Is that a Zabrak? That's a Zabrak. There's a Zabrak there. That's so cool. Come on, we need your help here. Who's that? Mandalorians? Oh, yes. Live action Mandalorians with jetpacks. Oh my god. That is the best thing I've ever seen. Oh, yes. Oh, big boys here. Big boys arrived.
You're going to have to relocate the covert.
This is the way.
This is the way. I love it. We've got I Have Spoken, and now we've got This Is the Way. Oh. Is he gonna die? Yeah. Oh, shit. I did not expect him to be killed off in the third episode. Yeah, he's alive. The Beskar steel saved him. I wonder if he knew. Did the Mandalorian know to shoot there because he had the steel? It's like Rhodey. An Iron Man. Aww. Okay, so that ending was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I was kind of thinking, I wonder if the Mandalorians are going to show up and help. And they did in one of the most epic ways possible. Live action, there's so many good things that we saw in live action. Live action Mandalorians with jetpacks. I mean, you know, I know that technically we've seen Boba Fett, and I know that some people say that he's not a Mandalorian, and it's kind of a question of debate because people are uncertain as to the origin of Django. Django says he was born on Concord Dawn, others said he wasn't, so whether he's a Mandalorian or not, uncertain, 50-50. Could be, couldn't be. But, you know, I know that we saw Boba Fett obviously use his jetpack, kind of, in Return of the Jedi, but it's a different era, it's a different thing. You know, this was like, after all we've seen of the Mandalorians in other Star Wars media, this was us getting like the holy grail of Mandalorian action. And yeah, just seeing them all flying around was pretty damned epic. And that culture aspect, you know, that togetherness of the fact that they're all ready to kill each other at a moment's notice, but when they need to band together, they will band together. And they've got this, you know, this solidarity now because of the purge, that they all need to protect one another, you know? This is the way has now become the new I have spoken, I guess. And I'm wondering how many catchphrases can you solidify in one series? So far, there's been 2 really solid catchphrases in this show. I'm only on episode 3. But there was a few interesting elements in this episode. I mean, firstly, the Imperial scientist who says that he was trying to save the baby definitely seems like he was trying to keep him alive. The client has seemed quite intent on having the baby arrive dead or alive. Doesn't seem to care for its well-being, and even there we saw him say, just extract what you need to extract and be done with it. As if, you know, he just wants the baby off his hands and dead and gone. Whereas the scientist actually seems like he wants the baby alive, he wants to protect it. Whether he wants to protect it for scientific purposes, or whether he genuinely is worried about the well-being of the baby, I'm not sure. I say this now, but bringing the scientist with the Mandalorian might have been a step towards learning about what they were trying to do with it. But I think it wouldn't have been reasonable. He'd have died in the crossfire if the Mandalorian had tried to take him with him. Now, my question is, the client said, and they deliberately made it so he couldn't hear the name, that someone had, told them that they needed to take whatever it is they're looking for back to them. So there's someone here at play who they're not telling us about. Now, it could be the Moff character that we know exists, but I'm not 100% certain. There's definitely more Imperial sort of stories there, and it's not, the client's not the only one linked to the Empire who's going to show up in this show. But it could be it could be someone else who we're not expecting. I do get the feeling that there is going to be some real twists and turns in this. I don't think anyone really could have predicted that there would have been a whole group of Mandalorians in this show. It would have, most of us, and I'm certainly included in this, would have just expected it to be the one. And even in the first episode, when we saw that there was a group of Mandalorians, I don't think we ever expected them to all fight for each other. Mandalorian culture has been so divided in everything that we've seen. Whether it's been, from the time of the Empire, when you had Mandalorians working both for and against Mandalore, whether it was when Maul took over and you had Mandalorians working for and against Mandalore. There was obviously a civil war before that. There was a war with the Jedi. Mandalorian culture, it's a war-based culture, so obviously it's always going to have problems, and it's always going to be a conflict with someone, and if there's no one else to have conflict with, it's going to have conflict with itself. But it's nice to see these Mandalorians banding together, and I really want to know what happened with this purge, because it's clear to me, I don't think the Mandalorian is from Mandalore. I think he's probably from one of the other Mandalorian planets or systems that was attacked by the Separatists. That much is obvious, that his family was killed by the Separatists, his planet was attacked during the Clone Wars. How he survived, I'm not 100%. I've got a feeling we got something really big coming there. And with it being the Clone Wars era, I'm very excited for the possibilities for what we could see if we're going to get more flashbacks to the Clone Wars era. I'm thinking potential Jedi could show up. It depends, because, there's a young kid, and you've got a battle droid about to shoot him. Who's going to show up and save him? It could be a Mandalorian. You never know. It could be the Mandalorian who comes up and saves, and integrates him into the warrior culture, and helps him become a foundling. Likewise, it's the Clone Wars, so it could be a clone trooper. It could be anyone shows up and saves him. I've got a feeling that maybe this wasn't just a random attack. Maybe there's a battle going on between the Republic and the Separatists. That has got some really big potential, and I can't wait to see that. I've got a feeling they're going to save that for much later down the line. But yeah, the Mandalorian showing up was just amazing. You had immediately once he cleared the Imperial compound, I knew that the bounty hunters were all going to be onto him. Now, my question is, I can't remember his name, but the guy who's given them the jobs, who he shot on a ship, I'm willing to bet the Mandalorian knew he had the Beskar steel, and he knew that that would not kill him. Rather than it being kind of like a lucky, oh my god, he got saved by the Beskar steel, I think the Mandalorian was intentionally aiming for that, so he knew that it would knock him off the ship, but it wouldn't kill him. Because I think the Mandalorian appreciates the connections he's made and the friendships he's made, and he's not a killer necessarily. He's got a heart, and we've seen that with the fact that he went back and saved the baby. I think he sees a lot in the baby and himself, because he was a foundling. This baby is all alone, and so he couldn't just leave it to the hands of the Empire. And luckily for him, he's now both got the baby and the armor. His armor looks amazing, by the way. They could have gone for a color pattern, but I just like the very clean sort of silver sheen that it has. And, yeah, he's obviously become very recognizable. Understandably so. But, I mean, where's the story going to go from here is the question. Where does he take this baby? Who in the universe could help with a Force user? I mean, I'm assuming that he realizes that the baby's a Force user, even if he doesn't believe in the Force. Maybe he's heard of them. I'm not sure. He could try and find Luke and try and deliver the baby to Luke. That's another thing we've got to remember. At this point in time, 5 years after the fall of the Empire, Luke is going to be out there setting up his new academy, getting... I would love to know what Luke's up to right now, but that's another story. This is The Mandalorian. Oh, yes, this was a good episode. And yeah, I mean, I was so happy that we got a group of Mandalorians fighting together. We got proof that the Mandalorian has a heart, and he saved the baby. He got his armor, and there's a lot of underlying stories that I think we've yet to explore. There's a lot of shiftiness going on here, and I think that scientist is going to be an important part of it. I think he's going to come back and be a real help for the Mandalorian. I'm not sure, though. But it was a great episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go and play some more Jedi Fallen Order. If you haven't already, check out my gameplay playthrough from that. I am a good portion of the way into the game, so yeah, be sure to check that out. In the meantime, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you for the next episode.